Since I'm normally behind the camera, I'll get in front of the camera. And Dizzy's behind the camera. So, this is my dad. We just call him CRB Pappy. And he's seen a lot of love on Facebook and YouTube.
Yes.
I don't know about TikTok. I can't remember. But the main love is on Facebook. But, I mean, obviously, you grew up farming.
Yes. I lived in a house that my dad and mother was managers of a farm, and both sides of my grandparents, they were farmers. They had other jobs, as one worked at Fairchild, one worked at Pangborn, one worked at Mack Truck. I mean, they've had different jobs all their life, but farming was always the base. And they kind of just kept running with it and kept doing different things and better things. And my dad, he took and got into the intensive grazing of cattle, and that's where the patties like I have showed up because of him doing things like that and learning from him. And he learned from other people, and he's been out in the county and across the country some with some of the things that he's went and learned and introduced into the county.
Hi, I'm CRB Pappy, and I got 5.8 acres, and an acre of it is in my house, and I fenced off the rest of it to raise some beef steers. So I got 5 of them this year. It's the most I've ever had, and I'm going to try it and see how it works. 4's worked pretty good for me, but we'll see how these 5 go. And none of them have any names. They all just go by the number tag it's in their ear. And this year it's a little difficult because they're all the same color. Trying to figure out who's what. They're not crazy either. As you can see, nice lush green grass. Seem to have the runs. They like to lay in it after they drop it on the ground. Easy boy. Probably gonna follow us in wherever we're going. Use electric fencing around all my stuff. Then when I take them in to fatten them up, which will probably be sometime in September, and they're in behind electric on that also. So I got my pastures, the acreage I got to divide it off into cells, which works out for what I have right now. That's how I've divided them off. Everybody's got to do their own thing. I got 9 little cells on this 4 acres of ground. Kind of keep my steers moving. As you can see, we're walking through some nice grass. They just came out in this today.
Oh, you said they weren't great. Not used to me being here is the issue.
That's what it is. Not used to you. Me, they wouldn't be doing that. If you turn around, you can see the other ones are just following us in. They're real crazy. Yeah, taking storm around bales here and this. I think I figured up I can. Everybody does the triangle thing outside and tarps it. I take and do it the other way. I do it reverse. I had to put boards up on the sides of it, keep it from rolling in. It's wide open.
I'll just set them on skids, and as I need them, I come in the other end. This here end's kind of blocked off with this post in the middle, but I come in the other end. And I already have a little tractor, so 4x5s work pretty good for me, round bale wise. My homemade feeder of hay, I'm going to be getting cleaned out because they're done eating that. They got too much of this grass, so I'll get it cleaned out. I take and throw like that old hay that they're not going to eat, and the manure from them eating here all this winter, I'm going to take and put it on some rocks, and it turns into dirt eventually, and the rock will just go away. So that's how I get rid of some of my manure. Just put it on the rock breaks that I have and use it that way. I got probably the southwest corner of the family farm that's been in the family for over 100 years, Century Farm. And the reason with my 5.8 acres, well, 4 acres of pasture land, one of the reasons is because of all of this. I mean, when you get rocks like that, I mean, you got to divide up your pastures a little bit and use them the best you can. And this piece of ground that I have off the family farm was called the high rock field. So you can see why. That thing's probably 25, 30 feet out of the ground. So.
And those trees have been there a long time.
Yeah, there's one up here on the very end. I know it's seen the Civil War, and I measured probably 5 years ago, and I got it. I took a string, went around and marked the string and everything and measured it, and it's 44 inches across. This big oak tree, we got a deer staying in up there.
I have to zoom in. I don't even know if it's going to zoom in far enough.
But it's 44 inches across, about 2 feet up from the base of it. And it's fairly straight. I mean, you'd be able to get some, like 12-foot logs, 10 foots. It's a red oak. So it's a pretty good tree, I think, for some milling to have something done with. So we're going to move on out through the pastures in. And being how the boys just followed us up here and all that, they got a mineral feeder there, and I put a worming block in there and deworm them a little bit so that the springtime here they can get ready and go eat, so the worms aren't going to be bothering them. They got flies on them. I need to get my fly rub up. And we got barn and all up here. Kind of built it, a little family help on it. Serves the purpose for me. Had to renew these down here because it's poplar wood, and the splashing the water up on it and everything takes its toll on it. Plus wood boring bugs and all that there that want to get in there. So, but yeah, I can hold 65 bales up in the top of this barn. So I think it does me good for what I do, and then I'll take and go get more from the guy I buy hay from. And a little 28 horsepower tractor is what does all the work around here for me. And
Jinma
284, little four-wheel drive, got a bucket on the front, and then there was a hoe down there in that brown bale hay shed that has never been on the tractor yet, and I want to try to get that on there sometime, but we're going to see how that goes. Don't know. Built myself a head catch last fall.
It was one of Floyd's auctions, and he had back in was that October, November?
It was, yeah, over Marysville.
Middletown.
Yep. Over Middletown, picked that up and mounted it off. I got a place I can get a hold of and get myself some telephone poles that I can use. And they're buried in there pretty good. They're about 5 feet in the ground. So they got a little meat with them.
Well, the one right closest to us is pretty stout.
Yep.
It might be Chinese, but you know what? It does a pretty good job.
It does. It's not everything I've asked. This is where they get the water at from all the little paddies I have. They come up here to get a drink. They walk up here, and it's just on the other side of the barn, on the west side of the barn. And I put some crusher run, well, it's not crusher run, it's called RC6, recycled concrete, down up in here, because it gets a little sloppy sometimes, so I'm trying to get it to tighten up a little bit when I bring my steers in to fatten them up. This is their area they're going to be coming into, and I take and feed them right here. They get their hay, they get their feed. The feed trough is over inside there. I'll bring it out here and anchor it up, and they're staying there and eat, and I can feed them from the inside there. I don't have to get my feet muddy. My dad, he was a little shocked about that. You're gonna feed cattle and you're not gonna get your feet muddy. I was like, sorry, that's what I'm gonna try to do.
This was our 4-H sheep barn before it turned into anything else.
Right. And also a beef project was in here.
No, that was in there.
Oh, that was in the barn. That's
Yeah.
right. We had the first beef project that Bim had. He was in there with that, and his name was Billy.
He was bottle fed.
Yep. And I came up with trying to do something here because this is all just brand new, as you can see in the video. These are the posts that I'd cut off and drilled that everybody seemed to love. Well, it's almost totally finished. I got a couple little things yet to do and gather up and all, but that seems like the last month of their fattening process, they get a bunch of slop out here. Well, I got a gate on each end of this thing here, and I'm going to be able to, they can come in there, hang out if they want to, and end up coming over here to the water, get yourself water and all. So this is something just new I'm going to try, but I'm going to try to keep them out of mud and everything and give them a little bit better life.
Apparently it's CRB's actual patio. It didn't get built, but the cows have their own patio now.
Exactly. And put down that RC6 all through here so they can help tighten it all up and make it so it's not muddy and everything. So a couple little things I want to do to it yet, and it'll be done. And Bim took and gave me an idea, so I'm going to go with that. I took and left this open here so I can close this off, because they don't need to be in there all the time. And the way the boards are on there, the air is going to go through.
Let's see if we can see it.
You can see
Probably not. You can see it from the other side, though.
The air is going to go through there and all. But I took and put some connections on here that I'm going to just use some quick fence like I do with my patties. I separate the patties with quick fence. It's a poly wire with interwoven aluminum wire to conduct the electricity and all. And that's what I use here is electricity. So I'll put some things here that I'm going to use, and it's just going to be a piece of quick fence here because my steers seem to respect it very well. So now they're going to get this closed off when it comes time to just go through there and all. But I want them to be able to go to the water, and when it gets bad out, then we'll take and close this off. They can hang out in there and keep on moving. Might be able to
you can see it a whole lot better now.
Yeah. There's daylight in all them boards, and air will be able to circulate, and it's not all the way down to the ground and it's not all the way to the top. So
Just keep elements out.
just keeping the elements out, that's all. Yep.
Somebody joined us. She had to work today.
Yeah, Lizzie took and went over and talked to the steers. She likes to feed them once in a while, so she'll be down to feed them once they come in here to go to the market. And this place here where we're standing at right now, there's weeds in here, and I've sprayed and killed some of them. but nothing happens in here until these steers come in to start to get fattened up for the market, and that's not going to be until like September. So I'm just going to try and keep the weeds down, and grass grows. It grows. It's like the grain. When they go to the bathroom, they drop it on the ground. They get grain when they get fed, and that's going to be laying out here, and it'll grow. It's just Mother Nature. So.
And what are you feeding?
I take and use Co-op in Frederick. They have a mix. It's Showflake, and it has molasses in it. I don't know what all is in it, but a lot of it is just a product, not a man-made product, but it's corn and oats and barley, molasses. I can't, without having a bag to show you and the tag and everything, I don't know exactly everything, but the man-made products are not there, because I think that's where a lot of the hormones come from to beef up your animals, is when the man-made product gets involved. So yeah, this is where it all happens at.
So why'd you start raising your own?
Started raising my own when the boys got into it. Like when Ben was showing steers, there was a different taste in the meat, and we went to other butcher shops, purchased their meat, had our meat. One time my wife was taking and fixing steamers and on the stove, and I walked in the house. I had to ask what that smell was, and we had gotten hamburger from a butcher shop, and it's just totally different than what that is, because at the butcher shops you don't really know what you are buying and where it came from. These here, I got these 5 steers in October of 23. They are going to be living here until January of 25. And the guy I buy my steers from, he's a reputable guy in the area, and he works with me with the steers. And when I bring them in to feed, I know what they are getting. I buy my hay local. The feed comes from a co-op in Frederick, and these boys will be on that from September until January. So it's like 120 days that I'm going to be feeding them hay and grain, and that's it. And you can really tell the difference in the meat when you take and eat it.
I can totally smell a difference in the meat.
Yeah. So, but it is, I think it's very good. I wish I had more land so I could fatten up more, because I've had people asking me for meat, and like I said, this year's 5. It's the most I've ever done. I don't know how it's all going to work out at the end here yet, but if we can get through the summer, if we don't have a dry summer, everything should be good, because I do fertilize. I fertilized probably about a month ago. I put fertilizer out on my ground, a triple 19. I just do a base, usually spring and fall. We'll see how it all goes.
Farming wasn't really where you were going, I'm certain, because you joined the Navy.
Yeah. I didn't know I was going to be doing this, but I did do the Navy for like 4 years, and that was enough for me, but it gave me a trade. I was a boiler operator in the service, and when I come out of the service, I worked 2 years construction, and then I got a job at a hospital in Washington County, and I did that for 14 and a half years, and then I went on and got employed with the state, and did that for 26 and a half years as a steam fitter. 3 of those years I was a supervisor in the power plant, and then I went back to being a steam fitter because someone else took over the power plant, a different company altogether than the state. But I still have first grade stationary engineering license, and I can put them still to use even though I'm retired. there's just a demand for a first grade license, and it's going to cost a little bit to get someone to come in and go to work for you with that. But I've taken and stepped aside with all that, and I retired 2.5 years ago, and now...
And never been busier.
No. My dad, he had taken and told me, he says he doesn't know how he's gotten all his work done with working a full-time job and then taking and doing, when he retired, how he got everything done. Plus now he's helping everybody else, was helping everyone else. And that's the same way I feel right now. I mean, I've got my hands in a lot of different things, like this bench that we're sitting on.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of my little side things I do. Make a little furniture here once in a while. I've made a few things for the wife. This one was the first one. For this though, my son and I, we was gathering up yardsticks, and it's like, I'm just gonna make a bench out of it. So that's what I did.
And thanks to Pinterest, yardsticks at auctions cost a fortune.
Yeah, that's true.
And thanks to a certain pandemic, lumber cost a fortune.
Yeah, so this bench that we're sitting on doesn't come cheap.
Well, you're also going to make the door for our wedding.
Oh yeah, there's a wedding this couple's going to have, and I'm going to make a self-standing track door. We'll see how this goes.
It's been gorgeous.
Oh, somehow.
It's good.
Oh,
It's still
okay.
recording. The
All right.
light's still blinking.
It's still blinking, yeah, okay. Alrighty. But yeah, I mean, I like working with wood and all. I got some other wood out here that I'm going to make some countertops for. I have a sister-in-law that loves some of the work that I do, so she wants a counter on top of something she wants and all, so she wants to take and do that. And I just keep adding to my list of things to do. That's how you stay busy.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe.